When Krishna learned that the Pandavas had lost their kingdom in a game of dice and were now living in exile, he quickly made his way to the Kamyaka forest to visit them. Before this, Krishna had been engaged in a fierce and lengthy battle with Salva, the brother of Sisipala, which lasted about 10 months. After hearing that Krishna had killed Sisipala, Salva launched an attack on Dvaraka, gathering all his forces for the assault. At the time of the attack, Krishna was still in Indraprastha, participating in the Rajasuya Yaga ceremony, and hadn't yet returned to Dvaraka. This allowed Salva the opportunity to cause destruction before Krishna could reach his city. Salva used a highly advanced flying fortress called Sambhaka, which could travel both on land and in the sky. The epic describes Sambhaka in a way that resembles modern science fiction, with flying machines and tanks. Salva laid siege to Dvaraka, but the Yadavas, even in Krishna's absence, prepared to defend the city. Dvaraka was a fortified island surrounded by the sea, designed to withstand even the most powerful enemy attacks. The city had natural protection from the water, a constantly vigilant guard, and was well stocked with food for both the citizens and soldiers. Iron spikes were placed around the fortress, bridges were destroyed, and strict controls were put on entry and exit. Foreign ships were banned from entering the harbor, and cannons were set up at key locations, with weapons stored in hidden places. The Yadava warriors, led by Krishna's sons Samba, Pradyumna, and Charudeshna, faced off against the invading forces that had set up camp outside the city. In the battle, Charudeshna killed Vegavanta, one of the enemy generals, causing Salva's forces to flee in confusion. However, Salva regrouped his army and returned to the battlefield, and the fight grew even more intense. A fierce battle took place between Salva, a powerful king with advanced technology, and Pradyumna, the son of Lord Krishna. Salva's incredible display of technological warfare overwhelmed Pradyumna, causing him to faint and collapse in his chariot. Seeing this, the charioteer quickly maneuvered the chariot away from the battlefield to save Pradyumna. When Pradyumna regained consciousness, he was upset and criticized the charioteer, saying, "For a true warrior, death is better than defeat." The charioteer, who was the son of Daruka, Krishna's own charioteer, calmly replied, "It is the warrior's duty to protect the charioteer, just as the charioteer must protect the warrior. I did my duty. Now that you've experienced Salva's tricks firsthand, you can face him again with renewed strength." Reassured, Pradyumna instructed him to drive back to the battlefield. The fight resumed between Salva and Pradyumna. Salva launched a fiery missile, but Pradyumna countered with a water missile. Then, Pradyumna unleashed the powerful Brahmastra, which knocked Salva unconscious in his chariot. Eventually, Salva retreated from Dvaraka with his forces. When Krishna returned from the Rajasuya Yaga and saw the destruction in Dvaraka caused by Salva's attack, he vowed, "I will not return until I have killed Salva." He ordered the war drums to sound, gathered his soldiers, and prepared for battle. Krishna entrusted the defense of Dvaraka to his elder brother Baladeva, while the Brahmins offered their blessings. Krishna mounted his chariot, drawn by the horse Sugriva and driven by Daruka, with a flag bearing the eagle wing symbol flying high. He blew his conch, Panchajanya, and the army marched past mountains, lakes, cities, and villages in pursuit of Salva. Salva fled his capital, but Krishna followed him relentlessly, finally tracking him down to a coastal region called Murtikavada. The battle between them was fierce and dragged on for a long time. When Salva realized his army was losing in traditional combat, he used his advanced technology to create chaos. He generated artificial cyclones and hurricanes that darkened the sky for days, making it impossible to see the sun. Hundreds of artificial moons and suns appeared, and day and night became indistinguishable. Sometimes, the sky would be filled with total darkness, but Krishna skillfully countered each of Salva's tricks. As the battle raged on, a Brahmin arrived from Dvaraka. A Brahmin came to Krishna during the battle and said, "Why are you still fighting here? Salva has captured your father, Vasudeva, and taken him prisoner in Dvaraka. You should go back and save him." At that moment, Krishna thought he saw his father, Vasudeva, being harassed by Salva's soldiers inside the Saubha, Salva's magical flying fortress. Shocked, Krishna dropped his bow, the Sharanga, from his hands. Seeing their leader stunned, The Yadava soldiers panicked and began fleeing in all directions.